Dude, you know what though? I was thinking yesterday. So we're doing a challenge this week.
Are we? Oh, the 75 tire flip?
Tire flips.
Yeah.
We're doing weekly challenges in our gym now, I guess. But this week it's tire flips, and I was watching people do tire flips, and I just thought, it's like on Twitter there's these accounts. They're called like out of context accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll pick a topic or a subject. So an out of context video game or out of context fitness or there's one I follow. It's out of context human race. So it's just random clips on just random clips and out of context. There's no context behind them, and it just kind of it kind of highlights how weird the human race is, and it made me think. Like
Where's this going?
working out just in general, like out of context. If so, and I go straight to aliens. Like if aliens came and they saw humans just flipping tires,
destroying themselves.
if they saw CrossFitters doing CrossFit,
Yeah, just for fun.
they'd probably leave and never come back. They'd be like, these people are crazy.
Right.
Because isn't that a weird thing? Like, aliens,
Yeah.
do they
Aliens.
work out, or is that like a human thing? Is that something that just became part of human
Maybe
culture?
it's more of a human thing because we eat so terrible and we realized, like, we're physically not having to do anything for ourselves anymore, so we have to make ourselves do physical things.
It's
and
weird.
workouts.
It's interesting to
It
think
is.
about.
And then I sit there and think, like,
Because it's such a human thing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, what would cause
Animals
another...
don't work out.
Animals don't work out, but
Yeah.
then they're not as intelligent
But they
as
also
us.
don't eat processed foods and get shitty in health.
Yeah, like dogs. Dogs are just fit because they run around and do stuff.
Unless-
and we feed them.
Right.
But like an alien race, right?
Well, first of all, we're assuming there are alien races.
Well, you don't think... Or do you think they're are
I
not
don't
aliens?
know. I have no clue.
Dude, they're for sure aliens.
I would
They
think
might be
there are.
hundreds of billions of light years away. But there has to be. There's no way, right?
I think so. But we're in this hypothetical, we're assuming there are
Yeah.
aliens. So, I think most other creatures would eat what they're supposed to eat because it's naturally what their body tells them. But if they have also the same kind of, if they've developed their brains as much as we have and then started to indulge, they might be in the same boat. Maybe that's why they never made it to Earth, because they got too fat and couldn't fit in their
But
spaceships.
aliens could be just... Their anatomy could be just so completely different. It's kind of weird to think about.
We're just
Like, they have to have...
we're
any-
animals that eat
any-
outside of what we're supposed to eat. We're like one of the only. Other animals won't eat
Yeah.
what they're not supposed to eat.
But any living creature, any living animal or species has to have muscles, right? That's just physics. You have to be able to move stuff, so you have to have anatomy that can move stuff. So
Yeah, but again,
any alien species, given that there is any, would have to be able to lift things and move things the same
But
way humans and creatures on
technology-
Earth do.
technology is what has taken that from us.
Yeah.
That we now have a human race that has an inadequate gene pool physically that is reproducing and learning to. I'm not saying they're not smart, they have other qualities, but back in the day before technology, a lot more people that survived and moved on were the ones that were physically fit and could go hunt and gather. And then there was the smart ones that did learn, once there was more industrial, agricultural, then we had to become smarter. And so that played a part too. But let's say the ones that are dumb and physically can't do anything, they didn't play a role in society. They do now, in a sense.
And that's another thing too. Like humans as a culture have learned to admire and appreciate people who can physically do things better.
Right.
Like, is there other species out there? There has to be other species out there in the universe that have done that same thing, but then others that probably haven't, that they don't, they don't admire other beings
Well,
of
be
their
like
same
other animals on the planet.
species.
They don't. Dogs, I don't think, admire one another.
But
for
I'm thinking in
superiority.
terms of species that have developed either the same amount as we have, or more, or farther.
You
That
mean
can,
like brain function?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Something else to think about is that we also have gotten way smarter, but we've also gotten way dumber at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, by like making revolution balance boards.
Well, maybe then we've just gotten bored. Like we just
We've
make
gotten-
things to make things. But I think for sure we've gotten way smarter because of technology, but we've gotten way dumber too. Like you can literally have a career pushing the same button over and over again, and that's your career, and have create a livelihood, and that's all you need to know how to do is create, push a button over and over again. That wasn't acceptable, a long time ago. I'm not saying there wasn't grunt
Wait, what
folks.
are you talking about? Pushing a button over and over
Well, a
again?
factory worker or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. Again, I'm not trying to crush on anybody that did that or just done that, and I'm not saying they're all dumb either. But you can get away with getting through this life with a very minimal amount of skills.
Yeah.
And also because we have, in some cases, not all, but where you can pretty much get free money.
Yeah.
And you literally don't have to have any skills and still live. We don't leave people behind. And I don't think we should. I think from neighbor to neighbor, we should help people out. But that needs to be reciprocated at some point too.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's interesting that
Interesting to think about.
that way has actually de-evolved our humankind.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of lost you. I was just thinking about aliens and stuff. That's just what I was thinking about on my drive
I'm
home
just curious
yesterday.
about, again, we've developed our brain in such a manner that we've almost duped ourselves to beat the system and get dumber again. Like, we had to keep progressing to, okay, how do we live in the same society or same area as cheetahs? Well, we had to develop tools and weapons and traps and stuff like that. But now it's like, how do we do nothing and still live? I feel like there's a lot of momentum that way. Not for everybody, but it's almost dumbed us down a notch.